last part. So I kind of keep getting drawn back to the story of Hercules. And whether it's you or whether it's this person, like there is this need. If we go back to the part of the story where he kind of goes mad and he unalives his wife and kids, I think that obviously we're not talking about that in real life, but it is very symbolic of something that happened that now involves or is part of like the choice having to be made. So like for some of you, this could be someone who like, you know, had addiction issues and really, really hurt you during those and ended the relationship, not physically, please don't go back if that's the case, that's not what I'm saying, but like emotionally, right? There was emotional hurt or something was ended because of that, you know, madness of, and, you know, now there's this need to make it right. That could have been you with someone else. And there could have been these lessons in betrayal in the meantime. So regardless, whether this is you or another person, I do think either you're sending a message to finally step forward or having ideas about how you can finally step forward. You're starting the journey or they're starting the journey. I think for some of you, this is something you've been waiting to do, something you've been waiting to hear, something you've been waiting to experience. This doesn't only have to be about love. This can be about career. This can be about family members. It can be about friends. It can be about whatever. But I do think that there is this sense of like, this is in one of its forms, like your ship's coming in, right? Your ship's coming in. So this is something you've wished for, you've waited for. Alternatively, it is that, you know, you could be waiting a little bit for this, or you may, you know, have to wait a little bit on this person as they kind of navigate through this. But ultimately, it's like balance being restored here. It's equal give and take, reciprocal energy. Apologies are being poured into or changing things. I think that for those of you who will be like, well, I don't want to hear from this person, or I don't want to do that, or whatever, like, okay, then this isn't your reading, right? Interesting. 9 of Wands and 10 of Wands. So 9 of Wands to me, especially in this reading, is very much representative of faith over fear, right? Like you have to let your guard down and be open enough to either go pursue this thing without being scared, without being defensive, or this other person has to let their guard down, right? And not be fearful of what's coming. Or how this might be perceived or what others might say, because I am getting that vibe that there's like this concern over like how this is going to be perceived, because they do have to leave this one thing, whether it's a job, a person, a home, a space, a like some promise they made to someone else, whatever it is, they're having to leave this thing, and they just really have to go faith over fear. But it is a heavy burden, right? Like just because we choose faith over fear doesn't mean that there aren't burdens or worries or a heavy weight to carry with that. But like ultimately, interesting. 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, celebration, reunion energy, happiness, building something together, or with others, or collaborating on things. Maybe if this is for you and another person, or about another person, like maybe both of you are going through this. And then ultimately we get to the 10 of Pentacles, which is like the abundance, the happiness, the home, the all the things that you've worked toward, right? And I will say that this, once it starts moving very swiftly. It's not something that, you know, it's waiting maybe for it to get started, like we saw with that 3 of Wands, 3 through 3 also potentially being significant there. But once it starts moving, anything else they need to know about this? I really think that that's really funny. That's really funny. Okay. So I really think that this is very much fated for a lot of you. And this is very much like, this decision is fated. This moment is fated. even if there is not clarity right now, ultimately, like, you walk away from this thing that you're not supposed to stay in. I think patience are required. I think it's being divinely guided. I think there is this reminiscing about this past thing that has to go be righted, or has to be gone back to, or has to be fixed. Balance needs to happen here, right? And this is part of that balance. We can also see this in the, the infinity symbol we associate with the Two of Pentacles as well. 888 is significant here. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which is ultimately like moving forward, making that offer, doing that thing. So I don't know. Let me know what happens. I love y'all.